As the world goes into chaos, World War III is among us. Let's talk about video games. Yay! What's up to another video? I am officially a PC gamer. I never saw myself being a PC gamer for the longest. Finally got into it. And yeah, I'm trying to literally chill myself from going overboard with these sales, man. There's a lot of sales going on right now on PC. It's incredible. It is very incredible. I'm learning about RAM, all this stuff, why it's important, and why, getting into that, the customizations and seeing that you can, you know, do a whole lot of variables and all this science and jibber jabber nerd shit. I sound like a teak god myself because I never really saw myself, like I said, being a PC player. I was always a console player, 360 back in the day, and I was always this person that just loved playing on console, just hopping on. And you have friends that be like, "Hey, bro, I got this on PC." I'm like, well, fuck, I gotta be on PC for. Like, this is what I do on console. It's the same shit. I mean, this was on 360 back in the day where it was a big difference. I would say 360 and PC, those are two different, like Battlefield 3, for example. Those are two different games. I don't care what no one says. The graphics were different, frame rate was different. Everything about the game was just completely different. And it was two different products at the same time. Player counts, console can only have 40, I remember, and then PC could go up to 65, and frame rate, all that jibber jabber stuff that PC players be going over about. It was a big difference, real big difference. Yeah, it was a big difference. Seeing the gameplay and stuff, I thought that was super cool. Just seeing that, but people would be like, "Bro, you should switch on the PC," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm not doing all that." First, for starters, I never really had the money to do all that because of how much you hear people are building on top of PCs and the frame rates and the data and the RAMs, the fan systems, the cooling, and everything like that going with each other. And I really never found any use to play it. And it was like this for a very long time because essentially after the 360 was the Xbox One into the new gen consoles around that time. And the graphics were becoming very similar at that point. It was just the same damn thing. If you wanted to buy something on PC, you can might as well get on console. It's like it was the same thing. It was like no difference. But then now, yeah, there's some guy cutting grass in the background. I'm sorry for this. It's so unprofessional. You guys probably clicked off this damn video. He was like, "Man, I ain't gonna chill. Hey, I can't hear you. What the fuck you talking about, man? I'm gonna cut this shit off." Next. Damn. But yeah, I'm like, damn, it was a big difference for the time being. And yeah, I really didn't care for it for a long time. And it was until recently now where I was like, okay, I got a Windows 11 PC. It's a cool build up and cool set, something that's very recent for the times. And I really wanted to play. I was curious of what it can run. So I started off very simple because when I first had or tried to get introduced to PC, I had a laptop, right? And this laptop could not run shit. And this is like all the way back in 2013. It was fucking probably Windows 6 or 7 or something like that. Um, I'm not, I said 6, 7. Probably Windows 8 or some shit, but the older models. And it couldn't run shit. I couldn't play anything. I mean, I was lucky enough to play like some old emulator games like Nintendo, but couldn't do anything. So, yeah. I mean, I can only play Flash games. But this PC particularly, this one I am right now recording, doing all the videos, this shit can play not only the classic Battlefront 2 game, the 2005. That's the first game I test dummy this shit on. This shit was able to play the recent Star Wars Battlefront 2, the EA version. What surprised me for that because I wanted to play that game again. I recently had it on my console on the Xbox One, and I wanted to play the game again because it was resurging back from last year. Everyone wanted Star Wars to come back and make a big triumphant comeback. So I was like, okay, let me just try that and just try it out. And I was just thinking this shit. I was thinking when I first downloaded this shit, I thought it was gonna be the most laggiest shit I've ever played in my life. I thought it was gonna be like so fucking slow and like stuttering. Like that's the shit I remember playing on PC. Like the shit would be stuttering and it would be that bad where you really couldn't do anything. I mean, the sound would be like, and the frame rates would be super slow. And it's a very grueling experience. It was very tough. But when I tell you, when I first played that first game on Battlefront 2, I was surprised for a lifetime. I mean, it was one of those things where I was able to play the game and it blew my mind of how graphically good it looked and how I was able to run just perfectly fine with no issues, no lag, no stuttering, and it looked damn near the same as the one on Xbox One, and even better because with the PC you can start tweaking settings and start making it look better, high, low resolutions, textures, and all kinds of shit. And I'm getting myself into things I would hear, but I wouldn't really care about because on console, what you got was what you got. So you really couldn't tweak the settings, but here you could tweak it to whatever you want it to be. And when I tell you, when I first played that, I had a great time on the game. I was blown away. I'm just grateful, It's like one of those things where as a kid I kind of wanted um, something to work but never worked. I remember I was first getting into emulation when I was younger, and for the longest I could never make it run correctly, but um, years later I finally figured out how that stuff works and I just put it together and I was able to get emulation on my phone, on my PSP, my original PSP, the slim version, and even on my emulation consoles and stuff like that. And I think it's that's the coolest thing ever, just to get this stuff to run. So with that confidence just skyrocketing out the way, it allowed me to start downloading a whole bunch of other games that I haven't played since the 360 era. Because I still have my 360, the black slim version. I had the white one, and I started out with that one, but unfortunately that one had the red ring of death, so I just got myself a black one, black slim, and then I gave that one to my brother as a little hand me down. And so I never really had any access towards like those games and stuff like that. And the big problem with like trying to play backwards compatibility on newer gen consoles was the fact that you couldn't really play it. Like it was always some bullshit where I remember on the Xbox One you can only play a certain amount of games, and it was not even like the games that you wanted to play. It was some games that was just random out the catalog. Even with the PlayStation 5, I have a PlayStation 5, you really can't play certain games that I played from that 360 era. On Steam, that is not an issue. You can play any game from any era. And I know people were like, oh, no shit, Sherlock, you should already know this. Let me tell you, this shit blew my mind because it was just like, I can finally play my childhood games. The games that got me into gaming, a passion that I am so driven by that, it just sparks so much creativity and inspiration, especially from the Let's Play era, with Dashi and Banos Gaming and stuff. I can play those games again now with more players, especially online, like Battlefield 3. I've always wanted to play that on PC. For years, I've wanted to play that. I even bought that game on, with the CD-ROM or something like that, but I couldn't play it on my laptop. The shitty laptop couldn't work, and I was able to play it. And I was amazed because the graphics looked as good as I remembered seeing it on YouTube back in the day. Those epic videos and stuff of people doing let's plays and those epic moments of Battlefield 3, and I was so happy for it to run and to not really have an experience. I'm telling you, like it's like seeing a car or a contraption work. I feel like a crazy scientist cooped up in a cave with a box of scraps. If you guys get the reference, was able to get something to work, and then when it works, it just takes off, and you're just like completely amazed at what this thing can do. And it's just, I'm in tears right now, man. This shit's beautiful, man. It's just beautiful. It's one of those things where I'm like, damn, I'm really grateful for it to work because damn, for years I wasn't able to get this thing to work. Now I didn't want to get too ahead of myself because the Steam Deck can add on to that. I got to be very careful when it comes to games. Games is something with me that I start realizing I have an addiction when it comes to gaming. I like to buy games and buy like a whole bunch of sales and shit. Like say for example, there's certain sales that's going off. I would be so damn quick to that damn sale. I'll pick that shit up in a heartbeat. If that shit like by $10 off, I'll pay for it. And the original price is like 59.99. It's just 49.99. Man, I'll pay for that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's a sale. I don't mess around with that, Shit. So I've been realizing I've been spending so much money on gaming. I'll probably spend like a couple $100 on just the games from sales and stuff like that. Cause yeah, back in the day when 360 was around, even the Xbox One, them games was not on sale. Cause a lot of the games that are classic hits or whatever, they were freaking new. They were probably like a year or 2 years out. There were no sales like that back then. Oh no. No way. There was no sales. I have to think about it. There's no sales back then. I don't know. Yeah, there wasn't really any sales back then. Back then, it was just like you had to pay full price for it plus tax probably. And no, most likely you did. You had to pay full tax for it, and it was pretty tough and it was expensive. I remember because we don't when you're younger, you don't have a job, you don't have a source of income. I remember my first bill to catch up on like rent or something like that or electric bill was the Xbox Live Gold's membership, the 3 months. Them 3 months would go by so fast some days or sometimes. And yeah, it was. I wish I, had the year one. It wasn't until I got my first job that's when I got the year one. But yeah, that's one of the things I've been so grateful for of PC gaming. And yeah, it's a big blessing to see myself able to play the games I was originally wanting to play back in the day. And I have to kind of be careful now because I don't want to keep buying stuff because I was, like I said, looking at the Steam Deck. And even though the thing is sold out for right now, I had to think about it like, do I really want this console? Because I already have a PC and I don't have that much time playing games as it is. Like, only time I'll play games as if it was a recording. And if it's a recording, then I'll make the time, put 10, 12 minutes, 15 minutes, and I'll play it. But yeah, I wouldn't normally play games like that all. Yeah, I didn't want this video to be too long. And basically, just video games are awesome. And just learning about this stuff online is pretty cool too. It's like widening your. Like, there's so many cool things you can do with gaming now. God, I'm like older because, I was in the 2000s, and the only thing you could really do was just console gaming, emulation, and flash gaming, which nothing wrong with that, honestly. It was a very beautiful experience, and it's crazy to see like the more options and the better technology has gotten through over time. PC gaming has become one of those things where it's just like, okay, I can finally adapt myself into this. And because, it was a long time coming. I actually started out as a portable console player, but then I played on PC. Actually, no, PC because Lego Star Wars, the original trilogy, and the very first one that came out in 2005 was my first games. And I used to play a lot of Lego and educational leapfrog games, click, Bernstein Bears and all. Remember those little child games I used to play as a kid? I used to click on them and learn. And I used to love that. I wish can find half the stuff that is around, but damn, it's kind of hard finding those old stuff. But when you do find them, it's just like, oh, I remember that stuff. It's really cool. But thank you guys for listening to this passion. Um, Thanks you guys. Stay safe. Like and subscribe. Comment if you guys can relate to PC gaming is superior, or do you think consoles are still superior? Or do you have a Steam Deck? Should I get a Steam Deck? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for listening. You guys take care and peace.